ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णा प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णा चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थेषुभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदायादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहैतुकी। Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 46, verse number 41. So we are reading the meeting between Sri Uddhava and Nanda Maharaj. And Uddhava is trying to console Sri Nanda Baba, who is in deep separation from Sri Krishna, and so is Mother Yashoda. So he is trying very hard but not easy, because the love of Brajvasis is very intense, very deep. and it surpasses all imaginations. So the consolation which he is giving, this type of consolation can work on people who do not have love like that. So in the material world generally it is used because in the material world we are steeped into our materialism, and because of that depression comes, anxiety, stress. So then you try to uplift the person's mind from that situation by explaining that this is temporary, things are beyond that, you are not this what you are thinking, these things come and go. So you use that technique, basically trying to explain tattva or reality which is beyond our material vision. So Dava is trying also like that, but it is not working. So he is still giving his philosophical lecture. Yes, Purushottam Prabhu, you have something to say?
Yeah, on the verse number 37, the previous section, there's asya janma nasti janma abhava eva tad uttara kal bhavam kartari nasti. What does this kal bhavam kartari nasti means?
Means when you have janma, then you have body as
Yes.
a product of time which gives the effect of your karma, and then you have the sense of doership in the body.
So kal bhavam means what then basically? You go through this
Effect of
transformation.
sato abhivanjako kala tatrityam tu brahmaham. We read that purushasya adhara prakriti upadana. That sloka came, we read that sato abhivanjako kala. So kala is the abhivanjak. Abhivanjak means which expresses, which brings out something which is not visible. Like you put the seed in the ground, then after some time the seed comes out. When it is in the ground you don't see it. Then in time it becomes manifest, expressed. There are other factors also, but kala is one of them. So that is called abhivanjaka. Abhivanjaka and abhivyangya is what comes into expression. So body is express. Body is the abhivanjaka of our karma in the sense of activities, thoughts, desires. So they get expressed through the body. That's why body is given. If there is no body, then your karma does not get expressed. Just like when you go in deep sleep, so you get disconnected from the body, now your karma is not expressed. So then karma brings you back in relationship with the body, then you again start your day.
Other thing I was just observing, looks like this Adhyatma Yoga is the only one which helps you to remove your nirvana or chara. Even on the spiritual world here, this is also being tried. And Vasudeva Devaki already know the Adhyatma Yoga, so they are accepting it and they're removing their visada.
Yeah, that's why the path of jnana is based on vairagya. Rite jnanatma mukti. So jnana is what makes you dispassionate. So even to come to bhakti, Rupa Goswami says that you need little vairagya, jnana vairagya shayeshad, praveshaya upayogita isat prathamameva na angatvam uchitam tayo. So it has upayoga, it has its usefulness in the beginning. Otherwise you remain steeped in your material attachments, desires. So some vairagya is necessary to come to spiritual life. So that's what Krishna also did. Arjuna was in a dejected mood, right? First chapter, Vishada Yoga. So then what does he speak to him? Sankhya. Esha te vihita sankhya buddhir yoga istamamshu. So later on he starts explaining karma yoga, but first about 15-20 verses he speaks only on jnana, because that is the pravesha, entry. So it is necessary. Natvevaham jatu nasham natvam yoga neme janadhipa. So that's the starting point.
Thank you.
Because if you do not uplift yourself from that, then you cannot get into spiritual life. And even materially you have to rise a little bit above. If you want to achieve anything materially also, you have to go a little up. Otherwise you will just remain in Vishada. So Vishada means sitting down. Vishesh Rupena. Sada, Siddha, sit. Sit, Siddha. Siddhatu to sit. So you need some prasad to get out of Visada. Prasade sarv dukkha nam hani rup jayate. So some prasad is necessary. So yatha भ्रमरिका दृष्ट्या भ्राम्यतीव महीयते चित्ते कर्तरि तत्रात्मा कर्ता एव हम धिया स्मृतः. So he is giving an example to explain this conditioning, how we identify with something what we are not, and that's the root cause of the problem. So he says yatha भ्रमरिका दृष्ट्या भ्राम्यतीव महीयते. So he says that if you sit on something which is rotating, so when you are rotating it looks like that the earth is rotating. Like sometimes you have two trains, so both are parked, and then the other train starts moving and you are looking at it. So it looks like your train is moving. But when the train has gone, then you realize that actually you are just in the same place. Or you are going in the car and the trees seem to be running in the opposite direction. Or if you rotate, swirl around, then after some time looks like that the earth is moving. So he says yatha भ्रमरिका दृष्ट्या भ्राम्यतीव मही ईयते. Mahi means earth. Earth means the objects around you, because you don't see the whole earth. You only see a little bit. So things around you seem to rotate when actually it is your head which is rotating, not the things around you. So he says in the same way, chitte kartari tatratma karta eva ham dhiya smrita. So there is chitta and there is atma. So chitta is that where the sense of doership etc. are there, ahankara. And atma is niskriya. Atma is not doing anything. But because it identifies with it, so then he says that I am the doer. Karta eva ham dhiya smrita. So this dhi, this thought, this feeling, sense, this awareness comes that I am the doer. So we have two types of ahanta. One is the ahanta of the Atma. Atma has its whole sense of I, which is natural to it. And then body, ahankaram iti me bhinna prakriti rashtada. So bhumirapo analo vayu kammano buddhirevacha ahankaram iti me bhinna prakriti. So there is a bhinna prakriti, separate. So that also has the ahankar tattva in it. So our ahankriya, our ahanta, our aham bhav identifies with the ahankar, which is bhinna, which is separated energy. With that energy, Krishna himself says, this is my separate energy, bhinna prakriti. So it gives you the sense of separateness. I am separate. And then everything, the whole samsara begins. When you start thinking you are separate. So now you have to make separate arrangement. Then you want a separate apartment, right? You want your own job, your own kitchen, your own cooler, your own AC, your own bed, your own. So everything separate you want. So this is the bhinna prakriti, nature to be separate. But the ahankara of the Atma, that is I, that is part of Bhagavan, mamaivanso jiva loke jiva. So if we become situated in that, then we don't have that bhinna. That's what is happening here with the Nanda Maharaj. He says, how are the gopis? How can we live without him? Because their ahanta is not independent. Their ahanta is one with Krishna. And Krishna is also then like that. He also does not feel, because this is antaranga. So it's not that he has some independent existence of the antaranga Shakti. It is his personality. So he is also equally entrenched as the devotees are entrenched in him. That is the whole game. That is the love affair they have. Then this is described in so many ways. Kunja, Radha Kund. Babaji, yes. So then all the Kunja theory comes. But what is the rahasya of this? That you don't understand. So this is their Leela, there is no difference between them. So we have to understand this, and by understanding this, we may also think that we don't want to be separate. At least once in a while this idea should come. So for that only, all this is being described. The purpose of all this description is for us. Otherwise, Nanda Baba is, as he is saying, there is a Prakat Prakash, there is a Prakat Prakash. They cannot be separated. They are antaranga. So how can there be separation? But still separation is created. And mainly it is for us to understand. Whether they have, not have, what they have, they only know what is happening to them. But through this separation, then this description is given so that we can understand. Otherwise we have no idea, and there is no possibility of understanding it. Because we are bhinna prakriti, we are trying all that nonsense here, independently trying to be like Krishna. Making separate arrangement and making our own prakriti here, that this is my antaranga, So you make somebody as your antaranga, it doesn't work. It fails, then you find another one. Maybe this guy will be my antaranga. Right? So then you try with another person. In the beginning it looks very alluring, and the person also is needing something like that. So both talk, but it's only a talk. You cannot be. It is not possible. Even theoretically it is not possible, because this is bhinna prakriti. There is a principle that suppose there is one employer and he has got, say, 50 employees working under him. So these employees have a direct relationship with the employer. Their relationship with other people is indirect. They don't have direct relationship, it is not possible. People don't realize it. They say, oh, he is my co-worker, my co-student, this, that. No, the very fact you are saying co-worker, co-student, co-this, co-that, your relationship is only through the top. You remove the top, you have no relationship. It's not possible. So like that, Krishna is the source. Aham sarvasya prabhava matta sarvam pravartate. So your relationship can only be through him. But what we are trying, the mistake we are trying to make is we are trying to make relationship without him. That does not exist. It doesn't exist. It's like you try to make a relationship, employees try to make relationship without the employer. Of course, if the employer comes to know, he will fire you. He says, what is this? I am the one paying salary and these people are, right? They don't want that. It's not possible also. It's not practical. But people try that. So this has to be understood, that there cannot be any independent relationship. So people ask this question, so now after hearing this we have to give up all our relationships. What about our family? They immediately get scared. No, this relationship actually doesn't exist to begin with. But I don't want you to be depressed by hearing this. But understand that this relationship is only through Krishna. And as long as you can think that this relationship can work, otherwise it will not work. Even if it is looking like it is working, it works temporarily. Morning it may be working, by evening time there is going to be some clash. Then again next morning there may be nice word at breakfast. By dinner time there is going to be a clash. Because it is artificial, It's like you are trying to make a plastic flower fragrant. So it is not. Okay, you can spray some perfume on it. So that will last for a short time. Then it will evaporate, then it is again plastic. So it doesn't work. So you have to keep on spraying every day, every morning. Like you put perfume every day. So Krishna, gopis, they all have natural perfume. They have natural fragrance in their body. Here in the material world you have to do it every day. Then it lasts for some time. Then you have to do it again. So relationships are like that. You have to throw little spray, perfume in it every now and then. And if you don't do that, it smells bad. And you don't realize it, just like you don't smell your own breath. You may have a bad smell in your mouth, but you don't smell it. It's the others who smell it. So you don't realize that you are actually smelling horrible because you didn't put the perfume. So this is how this works. So that's what he's saying, karta eva aham dhiya smrita. That I am the karta. When he is not. Little tiny atom, what is he going to do? Atma is said 1/10,000 tip of the hair. What can that do? Where the doership? What is he going to do? So the doership comes because he identifies with the chitta. Chitta kartari tatra. And with chitta means the whole inner psyche, ahankar, man, buddhi. So there the doership, then the senses are connected to that. This whole sankhya acts. Then the action happens and you say, I am doing it. So prakriti kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasha ahankar vimudhatma kartaram iti manyate. He thinks. He is not. In fact, even he cannot think. Even thinking is done with the help of the mind. Independently he cannot even think. Even manyate is not possible. So evam satiya kartaram atmanam kevalam tu. So there are 5 adhisthanam tatha karta karanam cha prathagvatam virdhasya prathak cheshta daivam chatra panchamam nyayam va vipritam va panchayate tasya hetu. So but one who thinks I am only the doer, evam sati kartaram atmanam kevalemitu. So he is the murkha. He is the foolish guy. So vimudhatma, murkha, abuddhi, durbuddhi, all these words are used. So this is what is happening, that your own head is spinning and you think someone else is spinning. So you have a problem, but then you attribute to the other person and then you say, I am suffering because of this guy. Nayam jano sukha dukkha hetu. So they are not the cause of your sukha and dukkha, your own mind, but we attribute to others and think like that. So this is what is to be understood for us. Nanda is listening to all this and saying, what is he saying? So jagat srashtritvam api tatra parameshware vastuto nasti. So earlier he spoke of him as Brahman, right? And saying that he does not have any friends, all these mata, pita, this, that. He is not anyone like that. So now he says that actually even he is not making the universe. Because it is, even in Krishna's case, it is Prakriti which does that. It's like in our case also, Prakriti kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasya. It's all Prakriti which is doing. That's why it is called Prakriti. The Kriti is in Prakriti. So he said, Jagat srashtritvam api tatra parameshware vastuto nasti. In reality, he says that Parameshwara is not actually the creator. He is a prayojak karta. Means one who employs others to do. He is an employer and then employees work. So nasti tasyapi gunakritatvat. Why? Because the creation is also performed by the gunas. When rajas predominant, creation happens. When tamas predominant, destruction happens. When sattva is prominent, maintenance happens. It's all because of the guna. Jaya kale tu sattva se. So they worship Shri. So yatha iti भ्रमरिका परिभ्रमण वातादि धातु वैगुण्यात तद्युक्त्या दृष्टिया. So he says Brahmarika, he is saying that it's like your head is reeling because of some disturbance of the air by eating something, or basically you are having a headache, some disturbance of air, and then your head is reeling, so then things around you look like they are moving. That is the Brahmarika. So they, by your drishti, means a person whose head is reeling, from his point of view, the earth is moving. So janena mahi kumbhakara chakravat brahmyati ve iyate pratiyate. So by such a person, this earth appears to be moving just like the wheel of the potter. And actually, it is his head which is having problem. Yathacha jivena chitte api kartari sati tatraiva aham dhiya chittameva aham iti buddhya atma karta smrita smriyate. Says in the same way, in case of the jiva, in case of living entity, that although the sense of doership is in the chitta, but by his aham dhiya, by his sense of I in that chitta, chittameva aham, I am the chitta. So this Atma thinks this is what I am. And then whatever is happening says, this is being done by me. So you identify with that. Atma karta, so Atma becomes the doer. Tathaiva gunkrita eva jagat srishti ishvare pratiyate. So in the same way, the creation is being done by the gunas of the Prakriti, but it appears, it seems as if it is being done by Paramatma himself. So that's how we speak, that's how we talk, but reality is that he is lying in the causal ocean, relaxing. Sometimes he looks, other times he doesn't even look. And then things go on happening. So, evam cha swarupenaiva tasya jagat srashtritvam nasti. So therefore, he is called Srashta, the creator, but he is not creator by Swarupa, but through his energy. Means in his own Swarupa he is not creating it. It's creating. So he is creator in that sense. Like you have a company and you do something, then you say, if someone asks, what do you do? Oh, you produce this. We make these programs. So it's not that you are doing it. There are people under you who do it. But you say you do it. And you say we are in this business. So like that. It's not by his Swarupa. Kintu Swarup Bhutayaha api Mayaya tat Shaktitvena tadabheta jagat srashtitvam asya piti geya. But Maya being his Shakti, is part of his potency, and there is no distinction between him and his Maya. So then what Maya does is also attributed to him, that he is doing it. So that's how the doership comes into existence. Yuvyoreva naivayam atmajo bhagwan harihi sarvesham atmajo hi atma pita mata sa ishvara. So now he's going further statement. He says that it's not that he is only your son. There are many people who stake claim on him. So it is not that Nanda and Yashoda only say he is our son. Vasudeva Devaki also say he is our son. Right? Kausalya Dasrath also say he is our son. Aditi and Kashyap also say he is our son. There are many people and many other who are in Vatsalya Bhav, they also treat him like their son. So he says, you should know this, that yuyor eva naivayam atmajo Bhagavan, because he is Bhagavan, he is Hari. So don't make this mistake that he is only son and he must come and live with you and this and that. He says, give up this idea and understand that he belongs to many people. So Sarvesham Atmajo, he is the son of everybody. Not only son, he is Atma of everybody. He is Mata, he is also mother, he is also father. Mata Dhata Pitamaha. So he is a very unique person. He is mother, he is father, he is grandfather, he is everything. If somebody is a mother, cannot be father. If somebody is father, cannot be mother. If somebody is father, he cannot be grandfather. So he is that. If somebody is father, he cannot be son. So he is son, he is father, he is grandfather, he is everything. So if you can understand this, then Uddhava is hoping that by hearing this, Nand Maharaj's attachment will slacken a little bit. But of course that is only a hope, which is not getting fulfilled. Atah sarva jagat shrashtri tasmin parmeshware putradi bhavna sukha dukkha dattvat sukha dukkhatvat vibhavna cha kartum nochitam. What is this sukha dukkha dattva vibhavana? So he says that because he is the creator of the whole universe, but he is Parameshwara, so therefore don't think that he is your son, he is only your son. And he is the giver of happiness or he is the giver of suffering. He says these types of feelings you should not think. You should get rid of that. It is not proper. Because now you are thinking he is your son and therefore you are suffering because of that. So you obviously think that this suffering is coming because of him. But that's not true. Tadapi Parameshwara api sa Krishno mamaiva putra iti yadi manyase tada shrunu tattva. And then, although he is Parameshwara, he is the Supreme Lord, but you think that he is only your son, then listen to the tattva, listen to the truth. So what is the truth? Yuvyor eva na atmaja kintu ye tasmin atmaja bhavam kuryu tesham sarvesham evat. So he is not only your son, but all other people also who have the bhava, the mood that Krishna is their child, then he is their also son. He is nobody's son, but he becomes the son because of the devotee's bhava. Otherwise he is not. He was born to Vasudeva, but he is called Nandanandan because why? Nanda Maharaj thinks he is my son. He was not born there. So he says it is only because of the mood of the devotee that he is like that. And therefore, many people can have this type of mood. It is not necessary. In the material world it does not happen. The parents think of their son as son, no one else thinks that he is our son. You may think of if somebody is your friend and many other people think he is their friend also. But as far as son is concerned, son is only of the parents, no one else thinks like that. But in case of Krishna, there are many people who think like this. So therefore don't make this mistake. Sarvesham Atmaja. Atma Atmavat Preshta. And he is also everyone's Atma. So everyone's Atma means, so Atma Akhila Atmanam, Atma Sarvadehinam, Yopi Bhati Mayaya. So he is the most dear object of everyone. Just like in the body, the Atma is dear, but he is the Atma of the Atma. Ham Atma Gudake Sarvabhuta Ashya Sthita. So therefore he is the supreme object of love for everyone. Even those who do not realize this fact, still he remains. It's like if you get intoxicated and you forget your family members, your parents. So you take some heavy dose, start hallucinating, forget your real parents. So like that, people in the material world are intoxicated. Pitva muhumayi mayam unmuttu bhutoyam jagat. So this muhumayi madira, this intoxicant called moha, delusion. So everybody is thinking wrongly. The real object of love is Krishna, but they are misplacing it somewhere else because of delusion. So people out of delusion may think this is my house and they forget their original house. So that's what is happening at present. So he is trying to put some sense into Nanda Maharaj's head. So ye tasmin eva tasmin atma eva ayamiti bhavam kuryus tesham atma. So whoever is thinking like this, that Krishna is our Atma, then for them he is their Atma. So it is not only just for one or two people, but for many. Atma evam pitradi bhavatam sa pitrapi. Similarly, some people may think that he is our father, he is our mother. So then he becomes like that. Ishvara iti ishvaratvat tasmin kimapi na yuktam iti bhava. So he is Ishvara. So Ishvara means capable. Isha means samarthya, capacity. From that only the word Aishwarya comes. So because he is Ishvara means he is capable of this. He has the capability to have all these relationships with everybody. Because everybody is part of him and everybody is related to him. And that relation can be different according to the mood of the bhakta. And he can reciprocate with everyone because he is Ananta, he is unlimited. There is absolutely no problem for him to do that. Drishtam shrutam bhuta bhavad bhavishyat sthashnu charishnurmahadalpakam cha vinachyutad vastu taram navachyam saiva sarvam paramartha bhutam bhutaha. So now he says that not only this much, but actually he is everything. Not just that he is mother, he is father, these are very limited things. But whatever you can see, whatever you have seen, whatever you have heard, whatever existed in the past, whatever is existing in the present, whatever may exist in future, whatever is immobile, whatever is moving, whatever is big, whatever is small, and whatever is medium. He says it is not without Achyutad. Vinachyutad vastu nataram vachi. Means there is nothing which has existence independent of him. So that is the meaning of Advaita, real meaning of Advaita is this. It's not that these things do not exist. The material, it's not that material world is mithya. Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya. It is not mithya, but it is not independent. So there is only one tattva, one independent reality, and that is Sri Krishna. And everything is rooted in him. He is the adhishthan. He is the substratum of everything. So matta sarvam pravartate. Everything proceeds from him. And matta partaram nanyat kinchid asti dhananjaya. There is nothing above him, nothing beyond him. Means he does not have another foundation or support or substratum or adhishthan for him. So here in the material world everything is, the table, book is on the table is on the earth, and earth is on something. So like that you go on. So everything is supported by something, but the ultimate support is Sri Krishna. So that is the meaning when it says Aham Sarvasva Prabha Matta Sarvam Pravartate and Matta Partaram Nasti Kinchid Dhananjaya. So there is nothing beyond. Sutra Mani Ganaiva. So everything, he is strong, he is support and he is also in everything. As it was said that Anvi he enters. So he is inside, he is outside. So that's what it means, that there is nothing which can exist independent of him, because there is no such place even possible that something can be independent. And this person who is inside, outside, support of everything, it is possible to deny him. This is very amazing. This is what Maya is. That we can say, there is no God, where is Krishna, show me. It's possible to. So that is the unirvachaniya quality of Maya. That even such all-pervasive truth can be denied. Even that thing without which we cannot exist, we can deny that. So that is possible with Maya. So therefore it says, Drishtam Shrutam Bhut Bhavat Bhavishyat. So all three times. Because you may say, well, he is like this now. So you vote somebody becomes the president of the place. Then he was not president before, he may not be in future. But he is not voted by somebody. So that is what is called upadhi. That here in the material world you have some upadhi. So upadhi is not natural, it is given to you and it will be taken away. So he says bhuta bhavat bhavishyat, past, present, future, because he is even source of the time. That's why it says tritiyam tu aham. That prakriti, purusha and time which brings a change. When prakriti and purusha come in contact, then prakriti goes into transformation. But that happens with time. and time is his glance. So when he glances, then he activates the time. Just like Nimesh, the blinking of the eye is called Nimesh. That's a unit of time. So he's looking, and that is time factor. So then all the changes happen. But since he is the source of time also, time cannot influence him. He is beyond time. So therefore, he is not dependent on anything. Because everything else is happening in time, and he is beyond that. So he is kalatita. So therefore, drishtam, shrutam, bhuta, bhavat, bhavishyat. And then more varieties, thashnu, charishnu, mahadalpa. So this covers all varieties. Therefore he is called achyuta. That he does not deviate from his characteristic. In the material world, everybody is fallible. He is infallible. Whatever we have, it will fall away. So nothing here, vastu taram na vachyam, saeva sarvam paramartha bhuta. So he is the paramartha, he is the ultimate artha. So artha means the ultimate goal, ultimate purpose, ultimate prayojana to be achieved, and nothing else. There are other arthas, purusharthas, dharma, artha, kama, moksha, etc. But he is the paramartha, and it is he who is manifest here. Nothing else. So Vasudeva Sarvamiti. So Mahatma Sudurlava. Yo mam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mai pashyati tasyaham na pranashyami sacha me na pranashyati. So vastutastu bhav vrajraj yusmadadikam sarvamidam jagat tat shakti shrishtatvat tadatmak eva janihi bruhi chetadanurupan. So he says that, oh Vrajraj, Nanda Maharaj, now I summarize everything. He says in reality, you, your wife, Yashoda, your house, your cows, your calves, and also bulls, all this, what you think, this is all him only. This whole world, sarvamidam jagat tat shakti shushtatvat. It is a creation of his energy, and because it is creation of his energy, therefore it is tadatmaka, means it is non-different from him. And please know this, and also speak like this. Bruhi cha tadanurupam. So you should know this and speak accordingly. In other words, don't just think that he is your son, my son, when will he come? You should know that he is not limited to being your son. So don't be so possessive of him. So therefore he speaks this verse, drishtamiti. Achyutad vina vastu nataram naiv vachya. He says that there is nothing which can be explained, understood, described without him. So now the science is making a lot of effort trying to explain this world without God. So that is their basic presumption, that there is no God, and we can study the world, universe independent of God. God is not within their realm. They don't think of it. So because they are trying to understand it without Achyuta, they will not understand it. Because without him it doesn't exist. So no matter how much research you do, you will never reach the end of research, or you will never find that unified theory which explains everything. So many theories have been propagated, unified field theory, string theory, this theory, that theory. But they cannot explain. Their wish is that we make one theory which will unite everything. Basically they are trying to do what is being described here, so that all these subjects can be there, physics, maths, chemistry, quantum, all that. But all this can be explained by one theory. So that is possible only if you include Achyuta in it. Otherwise it is not possible. It will not be. So Naiva Paramet Punsham. So it will never come to an end. Naiva Uparamet. So that's what he's saying. So Nataram, that not only na taram. That absolutely not possible. Naivachya. So it says don't speak. Rather he says you cannot speak. Prakriti pratyaho paurparya bhava arsha. So there is something very strange here in this sloka, which he explains. So here he says vastu taram na vachyam. So it should be nataram. So taram is the tarap pratyaya and na is the word, but the pratyaya has been put before. So he says this is strange, this is arsha. It should be vastu nataram vachyam, it says vastu taram na vachyam. Saiva sarvam paramartha bhuta. So I'll stop here if there is any question. Yes, Narayanji.
Pranam Guru Maharaj. I have a couple of questions, and my first question is earlier a comment was made in the previous class that one of the acharyas says that there was the Uddhava saw the Prakat pastime, and then in the Aprakat pastime Krishna was actually there with Nandamala. So my first question is Nandamala aware of Prakat and Aprakat? That's actually my first. I will ask the next one after that. Was he himself aware that there are two such realms of existence?
No.
Okay. So, sorry?
No.
Okay. Yeah, because, okay. The reason I asked is because that would imply he would know something about Aishwarya of Bhagwan and things, which I guess is not the case, right? The next question is, when for the last 6 verses where Uddhavji is describing these glories of Shri Krishna, is there any comment or insight that is given to how is Nandamala processing all this? Is because he's saying, whereas clearly it doesn't match with Nandamala's conception of his own son. So is this section is how is he taking the whole thing? Is it just like a comment that is the conversation going on, or any insight given?
No, some of the insight was already given and some more will be given in the next verse. Commentator will explain. But it was already explained there that he was taking it and he was saying, yeah, Garga, he said, yeah, Garga has said that Narayana Samaguna, that he has qualities like Narayana, so it is not surprising. Otherwise, how is that he was able to lift Govardhan and this and that? So but he's not giving up the idea that he's not my son. So So that Garga's statement comes time and again. Whenever any such situation comes, then they take recourse to the statement of Garga Muni. So then they say, yeah, Gargacharya said like that. Otherwise, you remember he said that these are Surottamo, these are two best of the gods, they have come here on earth to do. Nanda Maharaj was saying like this. But still he is my son.
So it's like one of those things where there is some construction, but it's just dismissed essentially. So it's not in the foreground or even in the background. It just comes up as a talking point and it's dismissed because if it is there somewhere in their psyche that this is indeed Narayana or whatnot, then clearly that interferes with the power. Is that the right way to look at that?
Yeah, their predominant mood is that he is my son.
Okay.
And then other things are subservient to that. Just because he may be Narayan, he may be God, does not mean he is not my son.
Got it.
So nothing overtakes the feeling of Krishna being their son. That is the distinction which is being shown between the love of Vasudeva and Devaki and that of Nanda and Yashoda. Vasudeva and Devaki also came to know that he is Parameshwara, but then when the feeling of Parameshwara comes, then their feeling that he is our son takes second position, and then they become like away from him and try to worship him. They don't want to embrace him. But this does not happen to Nanda Maharaj. So therefore Nanda Maharaj's predominant mood that Krishna is my son does not take the second position when he hears that Krishna is Parameshwar, he is Brahman, he is the creator, he is this, he is that. He listens to all that, but he is my son.
I see.
Just like you think, practical example, that Modi is the Prime Minister of India. His mother of course died now, but when he went to his mother, the mother is thinking he is my son. Whenever Modi met his mother will give him 4 or 5 rupees, and make him eat some sweet. So it was just for her. Whenever my son came, I gave some money to him. So he may be Prime Minister, he may be this, Modi is the most powerful person of the world now. More powerful than Biden, more powerful than Putin, more powerful than Jinping or whoever. He is the topmost person in the world. But whenever he went to his mother, who was a simple lady, then mother will actually feed him with her own hand. And then when he is leaving, it is a custom, So she will give him few rupees. So that means for her, Modi remained her son. He may be Modi for others, but for her, he is Narendra, whatever, maybe in the childhood call him Narain or whatever. For her, it was Narendra, not Modi even. Modi is a surname. So that is the mood even in the material relationship.
Right.
What to speak of Nanda Maharaj.
Understood. Thank you, Maharaj. Can I ask one more question? This is not related to this, but it's in the same line. The question is that, I'm trying to understand from all of these examples are examples of Raga Bhaktas, right? They all have natural ruchi, natural raga for Lord, and they have grown into that. And of course they are eternal associates, but they are primarily driven by that emotion. My question is that in the Raga mark that we are following, is it important to cultivate this mood that Krishna is, not, to have a mood of well, I guess for the lack of a word, but to not have this understanding that Krishna is perhaps Supreme God, but have more of a natural affection to Him. But that cannot be superimposed. So I think my understanding from your other lectures is that that mood is something that it's just as a natural outcome of the process. Is that, did I understand that correctly, or because I'm just a little just trying to understand this with the sadhana stage and how do we make progress?
So first you have to understand that Krishna is God. It's very important. Otherwise it becomes just another kind of material thing. So it is very, very important to know this. That's why these things keep coming here. It's all for our sake, Nand Maharaj doesn't need to hear all this. It is we who have to hear, because we have a tendency to fall into this and then some sort of superficial sentiment, he's our son, he's this, he's that. Like some people do this. You may be aware of that.
Yeah.
So you have to know this, that this Madhurya is founded on Aishwarya. It's not without Aishwarya, because Krishna is not lacking Aishwarya at all. He is the Mahashwarya. He is the Mahanarayana. So you have to know that it has, for us, for our bhakti has to be based on this. It is otherwise, why so much description comes? Why in Bhagavad Gita universal form has to be shown? It's for us. Arjuna did not need to see all that, all this Vibhuti Yoga, so that we don't forget this. And then when we forget, then our thing will be just like we have material relationship. So we have to transcend that first. And then that bhav will naturally manifest like that if we are doing our sadhana properly. So it's very important to, otherwise why Jiva Goswami has to write Krishna Sandarbha, such a thick book, and then Gopal Champu, and to establish Krishna as Swam Bhagavan? What was the need? Could have said, well, just think of him as your lover, your son, your friend, this, that. He's beautiful, he's nice, he's this, he's that. So why he has to do all this comparison and then establish him as the source of everything?
Right. Yeah, this is a very prominent thing nowadays. We hear a lot about this, even in Vrindavan. You see a lot of devotees who they kind of have this, they put on this layer of bhav. They worship Krishna like they are their son, and you see them, especially North Indians. I'm not saying North Indians, South Indians, but North Indians, they carry the.
No, you can say it, don't worry. Because in South there is a lot of Aishwarya Bhav, so they don't think like that.
Yes. But in North India, they take Laddu Gopalji, and even now I see in sometimes many temples, even Rāsa-līlā temple and all, they go there and they are just singing and they are saying Bhagwan Mera Hai. That's why I was asking, is that, so those things are.
No, it is good if you actually act accordingly, but then after going out of Radha Damodar temple, then you have to see what they do. If that bhav is there, then there should be corresponding behavior, not just when you come and sing. It is good, and some may have it, I am not denying it, but then they may be doing same material things which everyone else is doing. So these two things don't match. Yad dhamart srit pranas atma ashayas tanayas tat krite. So that should remain everywhere, not just in front of the deity. And then you sing and you go. So then everywhere else also they should feel like that.
Yeah. Understood. So for the sadhaka stage in the Raga-Nuga, we are supposed to properly think of Lord in, as Radha Shyam Sundar and in the as Bhagwan, as Swam Bhagwan, as it is described, and follow the process. That's the gist of the whole.
So that's why the South Indian mood is good. But
That is the
But then you have to not be limited by that. The problem with that is that then they think that this is wrong. That's another problem.
yes, yeah. We see this even in actually a lot of Krishna temples in South and North. They are very reverential. Here, especially here in Bangalore, you go to a temple, they are highly reverential. Whereas you go to North India, sometimes they experiment. They put some special stuff for the deity, and sometimes it looks very nice.
They put jeans for Bihari, jeans and goggles and mobile phone. This is 15-20 years ago. Now I don't read newspapers, I don't know, but it's fact. They had put a mobile phone in Krishna's hand, and he had goggles and jeans. So they do all sorts of things. So this is exactly what I am saying. This is going another extreme without the basis. And it sounds very attractive when you will hear and talk to them. It can be very impressive for common people.
Yeah. Thank you, Rick.
I'd like to ask on Shloka 41. Did I catch correctly that every action, no matter if done by the Atma, like the individual Atma, or by Paramatma, is actually done by the Gunas and then only attributed to both the individual Atma and Paramatma respectively?
Yeah. I mean, in case of spiritual world, they have spiritual body, but here, your body is not you. It's like you go by car. So it is car which is moving. But you say that I traveled, 5 hours, I traveled 500 miles. It is car which traveled. So same thing.
Okay, but then in case of Paramatma, then
Paramatma is
it's not the
same.
material Gunas, no?
Yeah, it is Paramatma same. It is Prakriti which is doing. He is only the impeller. It's not doing it.
Okay, so this...
He only
Okay,
activates.
so he spoke about the material creation, and that this is done with or this is executed by the material gunas.
Yeah.
Okay. And then
Yes.
through Brahma, etc., this process is then done actually.
Yeah. That's why he's also called creator.
Babaji, you mentioned that even for those who do not accept Bhagavan's existence, still he remains the dearest self, Atmanam, Akhilatmanam. I wasn't able to grasp this. Is it that even though they do not recognize him, he just remains the dearest self without them knowing him?
So whatever they are loving, it is ultimately Krishna only. What do you love here in the material world? Even if you love food, then Krishna says, I am the taste of the water. Right? Rasomapsu Kaunteya. So whatever beauty you love, whatever you think, it is his energy. But you don't think like that. That's why he's saying, think like this. You should have chintan like that. He says, I am the sound. I am the source of sound. I mean, all the senses objects. He says, Indriyanam manaschasmi. Among the senses, I am the mind. Can you enjoy anything without mind? Unless you do no mind meditation. Okay, Mohini, your turn.
To verse 35, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is commenting that Uddhava, he is explaining why present tense is used. And then Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is explaining that Uddhava actually did not see it, but Vagdevi or Saraswati let him spoke the words in the present tense. So my question is, and this question keeps coming in such context, from where Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur knows this? Is this his opinion? Is this his bhav and he's explaining this, or based on what he's saying this?
So you should understand that a commentator has a job to do. And a good commentator has a good job to do. So the job is that there is a basic assumption that Shastra has a unity of thought. It has correlation from one word to another word, from one verse to another verse, from one chapter to another chapter, and ultimately from one Shastra to another Shastra. That is called Samanvaya. Tattu Samanvayat, Vedanta Sutra. So then in this, that another thing is that whatever is said in a shloka, then it should make sense. So if it is not making sense, then they have to make sense out of it. It is their job. That's why they are there to explain it. So somebody will say, how can he say like this? So then he say, it is Saraswati who is making him speak like that. When you want to speak, do you already know what you are going to speak?
I try to.
You don't know what next thought will come in your mind. You don't know this. Nobody knows. Even when you make a sentence, how the sentences come out, if you have to think the sentence and then speak, you will not speak the way we are speaking, fluently non-stop. Then first you will think that, okay, this is what I have to say. Then you will say it. So there will be a gap, but it doesn't happen. You try to meditate on it, how you speak, how the words come out of your mouth. You think you are the boss of these words, but actually it is Saraswati which is making you speak. It's for everybody. This is how you have to think, that how everything is controlled by him. But we take credit for it. We individualize things. Thought is coming in your mind, then you say it is my thought because it is my mind. But Krishna says that I am the mind. Krishna says, Matta smritir jnanam apahanam cha. So from me comes knowledge. And if knowledge comes from him and you speak, can you speak without knowledge? No. So it is coming from him. So he is using this to explain. Ultimately, when you think he's not saying something very extraordinary, this is happening all the time. But sometimes we feel it. You forget somebody's name, you forget sometimes maybe your friend's name or your family member's name, and you can try very hard, it doesn't come in your mind. And then suddenly it comes. So then at least you got a feeling that it is not in my control. But actually that is happening all the time. But because it is happening so effortlessly, just like I lift my hand. So I want to lift my hand, I can lift my hand. I want to lift this stone in my hand, I can lift. So what I start thinking is that actually I can do what I want to do. Right? I can throw the stone up, I can catch it, I can do this. Because it happens like this. So then I start thinking that I am in control. But the fact is that my hand can get paralyzed next second and then I won't be able to even touch it. So how this happens when I think of lifting it, so many things happen, brain cells, messages, this. It's not in my control. How when I think here to lift the stone and my hand goes there, do I know actually the whole process, how it is happening? I don't even know the process. Then how can I say that I am in control? If I am in control, I should know it. It's just like I turn on the light, I turn on the switch, the light comes on, so I think I am in control. This light is coming because I turned it switch, but I don't know how it happens. And there is a whole science behind it. But because it happens to be like this, then I start believing that I am in control. And that is the ahankar vimudhatma, kartahamiti manyate. That's what is happening all the time to all of us. Okay,